always check under which license this open source is subject.
Okay.
And there are some, it's accessible on the internet, there are charts with comparison with all these licenses, and there are only a few that are dangerous. But there is a sort of graduation. Some request you to disclose fully the source codes with the community. Some sets that you have to disclose only that specific function. So there is a gradation, but you need to make sure that your software developer or service provider disclose. I think instead of saying you cannot use source code, I think that's typically the mistake. Now you want to be covered, no source code. If you do that, the price will be multiplied by 5, so business will not be happy. So what you should do is that whenever they are embedding open source in the source code, they should disclose it, and then you check under which license it's subject, because IT don't know. And then you can say, well, this is too risky, then we have to take it out, to leave it out, and then it has to rewrite it.
Just to add, sorry for jumping in, just to add to what was said, there were cases where open source libraries were bought by enterprise software providers. And in this case, all the projects which used this previously as an open source libraries were forced to switch to other libraries, because this is where this new commercial agreement comes into play. Where this was open source, now it's not, it's commercial product, and you need to license this product. So this is another issue you should look out for, because at the start of the project it was fine, but then later, in 2 years or something like that, you have your product with this open source library, and now it's a commercial product, and you have to pay licenses. This is where it gets complicated, I would say.
Yeah, even if you put a license on your product where you have used the open source library, usually, I think that you embed in those libraries, there is a doc file where you are sending you to the license of the open source, allowing you to use specifically those libraries.
Yeah, but there are versions of these specific libraries, versions of whatever agreements. This is kind of very difficult network of liabilities and all these agreements. So it's a huge thing, and very often developers don't care because they just focus on the product. This is where legal department should back up and provide whatever checks you might need. This is a huge thing, especially in the community. Yeah.
To expand a little bit on that, on maintenance agreement, especially because the legislation may change due to the digitalization. Traditionally, when you execute maintenance agreement with software provider, it's for new version and debugging. But what we suggest to add as a dimension in the maintenance agreement, it is a legal maintenance. So that's, especially with the GDPR, for example, not all, if you are executing contracts with the big names, the SAPs and others of the world, they will be GDPR compliant. But sometimes you have some software that are developed by small and medium-sized companies that are an add-on to the big names. And these companies might be late in being GDPR compliant, and since you know that you are jointly liable with the processor, it can be an issue. So what I suggest is to add in the maintenance agreement a corrective maintenance where you include the evolution of the legislation, which means that if there are new legislation, especially with the privacy by design, which impose to the supplier to revise this code, you will have that in due time and within the cost of your maintenance.
I think there was another question here.
Yeah, actually I was just somehow drawing a conclusion. Is this for the case you have mentioned before, that we should have some sort of obligation that when the open source becomes a commercial product, then the software provider has the obligation basically to have to take care of the warranty, statutory obligations for warranty. I mean, we probably need to have a sort of contractual warranty obligation, which will probably be more extended than the usual statutory obligation.
Yes.
And there is a history of such cases with regards to Java, a well-known programming language, which was, as you know, acquired by Oracle, the whole company, and there were some specific libraries in Java was licensed for non-commercial use, and you might reuse this, programming language and framework libraries for this non-commercial stuff, and then, this became an enterprise product for Oracle, and those licenses were revoked and they were restructured. This was kind of, a topic to be discussed. This was several years ago when there was a huge number of discussion in the press. What happens next, right? Like, what do you need to do? And those developers were just using this non-commercial version of Java. But this is how it might work. So we have some history of this stuff happening. Yeah. So it's not new, to be honest.
And the disclosure on the open source should be done at when the product is basically delivered, or you should, let's say, supervise the process and doing the manufacturing process and see whether it's open source or it's not open source. So how we should take care of that? Because, for example, I'm just writing a contract for software. For an application to be delivered, and it takes like 5 months. The product to be delivered in the shape that the client wants. And my question is, so it may use the open source throughout the whole process. Should I ask for the disclosure to be done at the end of the process, like a sort of warranty on the product, or the software provider should inform me from time to time during the manufacturing process of the open source?
I would suggest to do both. The warranty is nice, but it's always post facto. So what is important is that you make sure that your product is clear and at no risk, or at least at minimum risk at that level, which means that I would suggest to combine two, a warranty, but also that usually when you have this commissioned software, you have specific meetings with specific deadlines and possibly different deliverables. And I would say that regularly that should be put on the agenda of those meetings, and there should be a disclosure. And that's also very interesting, because then you will be in a stronger position to leverage on your warranty terms, because if it has, you can identify the moments of the development, and if at some stage there has been meetings and they haven't disclosed something that they should have disclosed, you can consider that this is a material breach of the contract, which would put you in a better position to leverage and activate the warranty.
Just try to move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much time has
-1 minute.
But so I will perhaps not address the data breach of the GDPR, because I guess that's, you're much more familiar with that. I think SLAs will also change. As you mentioned, with all the HR automatization, I think on the SLA there will be also kind of smart contracts via blockchain with automatic systems that will live be checked, and with in case of live performance failure, there will be automatic sanctions that you will even not have to be activated, and as the HR should not be bothered with that, the lawyer will also not be bothered anymore with that, because there will be too many of those situations in the future. So I think you should also rethink the way you draft the SLAs in this respect. So I mentioned transparency is the key word. Then you can translate our synonym of open book principle. And I think especially in the jurisdictions where, contrary to the US, in the US you have this discovery system where each party in the context of the litigation is obliged to give access to all the files, even the quite delicate evidence. In Europe, in most of the jurisdictions, you can make cherry picking. You can decide which evidence you will share with the opponent. And since in most of those jurisdictions you will not have access to all the documents, it is important that you contractually oblige your contracting partner to play with an open book, which means that, and on top of that, with what I've said, with evidence by design, in order to make sure that it is not too complicated. Because while procedures are so costly in the States, it's not only because US lawyers are more expensive than EU lawyers, it's because of this discovery system. You receive thousands and thousands of emails which are not really relevant, but you have to check them, and that costs a lot of money. You can, as I said, consider the reversal of burden of proof. You can impose new duty of care on suppliers, especially with, I think, cybersecurity. That's key, because you will use a lot of data sets, and if these data sets are not reliable, all your products will be at risk, and you will then increase the risk of liabilities. But behind having nice cybersecurity situation and devices, I think it's also important to consider adequate redundancies in case of connectivity loss, in case of data sets that are corrupted. You need to have a plan B, and that will also limit liability. And again, real-time reveal problems, so things will pop in immediately so that you can act and react before the liability situation. I'm nearly finished. -3. So that's not something I skip. Create ownership rights. I explained that. There, as I said, there are limits in creating that. But what you can do for non-personal data, what I suggest you to do is to transpose the definition of the GDPR towards non-personal data, so that you create a thought of control. Since you do not have ownership on the machine-generated data, you can say that you are the one who decides about the target and the means of the data sets and of the processing of these data. And once you have that, you can then easily, because you have created, in fact, a transposition of the GDPR into non-personal data, and that's much more easier than to draft properly your license agreement. Well, these are more related to the GDPR. Thank you very much.